What's up, everybody? This is GinoD.
And Kate,
Welcome to another episode of Scriptly Adapted's Artist Roundtable. Guys, we got another good one for you.
Yeah.
We got a buddy of mine, directed an awesome film. His name is Gino Donatelli, the writer, director, producer.
Yeah, editor.
All of that, man. Well,
I was even in the costumes.
Even in the costumes, man.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Gino, listen, man. CopShit. You gotta tell the world what this movie is about, the story, where it came from. Because when you presented it to me and I watched it, I was like, "Yo, this is different. This is dope. This is dope."
Honestly, I don't even remember because I shot it so long. I shot in like 2010.
Oh,
that was when I first started it, and
Wow.
I completed it in 2013, and it really didn't do much until about a year ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, for the most part, I wanted to just take the most ridiculous thing I could think of, but shoot it as serious as possible.
yeah. It's interesting you say that because that's a great foil. And honestly, it is very apparent in the film. I mean, who thought of mascots or
Listen, man.
people with stuffed heads on? Like, it just, you're not even thinking about that. So I thought that the foil with the film was very good. And I think it kind of translates into the characters as well a little bit. But I loved it. I thought it was very, very original and very, very good.
Listen, man, very entertaining, man.
Yeah.
But I get 90s cop feel, like deep cover. Like I get like all of that from this film. Where did you draw some of that inspiration from? Or is there a particular movie that you drew from?
Yeah, I mean, I would say two movies. One was Training Day, because just the whole idea. I mean, I think that's arguably probably the best cop drama.
Yeah.
Maybe not ever made, but definitely ever written. It's my vote. But it's just incredible, flawless movie, and I just thought that how serious the tone of it is, just like how could that kind of translate to comedy?
Yeah.
Right.
Like how would you do that in that world?
Right.
Right. And then Bad Lieutenant. Did you ever see Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel?
No. I know the film though.
Yeah. It's probably one of the rawest cop dramas ever made. It is.
What compelled you to use mascots as the main characters in the film?
I figured that it would be a visual cue for comedy, and you didn't have to try where it was like I was trying to do something a little bit different with that. It was just like to stay away from as many like built up jokes. I mean, there's a few in there, but for the most part, I was hoping that that visual, reference of the mascot head will be able to carry it as a comedy, and we could take those dark turns, as you're saying, serious turns.
There's no expressions.
Right.
So it's kind of like messing with you in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second. And I think that was a brilliant touch because not specifically the mascot heads, but the way that you integrated that to show like, it almost makes the audience members want to relate to these characters, even though they're corrupt, even though that they got a lot of stuff going on. But
even some of the regular people are mascots as well. So,
but the thing is it makes you realize or think to yourself, like, we actually don't know what they're thinking because, 90% of communication is nonverbal. Tell us a little bit about your actors, where you found them, how they react when you told them what your vision was, what the film was going to be about.
What was their reaction? Yeah, they were good.
They were very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't lie. I had to have good voices.
Right.
I mean, that was number one priority. It's like you're just seeing these, like you said, these faces that have no expression. Mm-hmm. So the voices basically are the engine of the whole, the whole short. And I met two gentlemen, both from New York. One's from Long Island, the other one's from Brooklyn. Played the two main characters. They played Frank and Gary. And they're not actors. They're not trained actors. We went out to a hotel actually and recorded them. because I wanted them to be in the same room, not in a booth, because I wanted to give the same kind of acoustics that a car would.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Hotel room, and they literally would sit next to each other and do it just so it had that same kind of like that one. But yeah, so they carried the whole thing. I mean, it is what it is. You saw it. You know, it's for the most part, it's like 7 minutes of them arguing. That's not. You know, that's not easy for actors to do.
No, it's not, but it's compelling.
Yeah. The first scene when they're in the car and they're talking about his sister, that was hilarious. Yeah. And you can see it's almost like a love-hate relationship, because even though he was an informant, I think it was kind of like they still had some type of relationship, you know, and it was like they were intertwined in each other's lives.
I give you many. My relationship with your sister is none of your business. She's not even your sister. She's your half-sister. Sister being the key word. You're so awesome, Frank. I swear on my son's nuts. I'll shoot you in the fucking throat if I find out you hit my fucking sister. I think these cops would give if your dumbass guy is going to trust a cop who wouldn't even take care of a parking ticket for his sister.
You had a great cast. Yeah. They were believable, authentic for sure. Let's get technical. I was a fan of the cuts, just like you said. You know, as a possibility to integrate more into the film. Very sharp, very quick, especially during the car chase. Tell us more about how you wanted the film to look. Did you do that on purpose to build anticipation? Do you think that builds anticipation? Expand on that.
I think the general audience member looks at, you know, what we do is just a visual medium, you know, even less of an audio one, but even less of a movement rhythm. And with something like this, I was like, well, you know, you don't see comedies that just move quick, that just, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, well, I want to try a different style of editing it, because I know that short films do better the shorter they are.
Right. Yes.
And so my first cut was like 16 minutes, you know, like, so it was like, I was like, I just want to make this thing like that. You just got to be like, what did I just watch? I got to watch it again. That was kind of the idea going into the editing room.
Looking back on your project, do you think that the way you edited, are you pleased with it? Do you think that it complements the subject matter of the film? Like, one of my pet peeves is when I watch a film and the style of filmmaking doesn't really fit the subject matter in a kind of strange, weird way. To me, that's not congruent. And I thought your film did a great job at providing consistency with what you were seeing based on what the actual film was about. I thought you did a great job.
I enjoy films that don't necessarily look like what the narrative is supposed to be. Like, I like something that visually is like a Tarantino-esque kind of thing. I love that stuff.
My ears pick up sound editing like right away. And I thought it was great in this film, especially during the car and foot chase.
Yeah.
And it's like very subtle, but just you can't help but to hear it, and it just fit the scene perfectly. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, did you pick the music? Did you work with someone who did? What did you think about?
This guy that did the sound design, his name was Felipe Aprico. Extremely talented musician, just audio engineer. And Barrett Hyatt did the music. Extremely talented musician that I worked with at AMC at the time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I mean, we just focused. We looked at it completely as 50-50 medium. You know, we took as much time with visual as we would with the audio. And also, since most of the dialogue was through mascots, we didn't even have to record sound when we were filming. So that was very beneficial.
Yeah.
Saved a crew member and time to set up audio and check levels. So when we went and shot things like the fight scene, we didn't film any audio. We went back and post because we knew that we were going to have all summer to do it, and created every sound from scratch.
Wow. That worked in your favor for sure.
And I got to learn also, I didn't know anything about sound design or audio editing. I got to learn a lot by working closely with Felipe. And I mean, we would just sit there in his studio apartment in the East Village, and literally every sound, like it would be crisp, and then he'd mix it in. And it's a very tedious thing, but when you do it that way, you can't do it any other. It's like that's how it's supposed to be done.
Right.
Has there been notoriety surrounding CopShit, film festival circuit? Where's the interest? Has there been any interest? Where do you see this film going?
I'm a good background actor as well. If you need anybody,
So am I.
I can walk across the street.
Extra.
I do a mean raised eyebrow.
Yeah, I do a mean walk.
It's such a long journey with it. When it first released in film festivals in 2013, it really only did a couple, like 4 or 5, but they were pretty well-established film festivals. But, we had no luck in shopping it around after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime around 2019, like January 2019, it just popped back up. My producing partner, who I worked with before on a show, he just loves it, and he stayed behind it for a very long time. His name's Jesse Vincent. He works for Big Branch Productions in LA. It's currently on Urban Flicks
Nice.
right now. And we just also feel with kind of what's going on in the world that this has a place in pop culture. So I feel good about it. You never know in this industry.
We're still in the era of COVID, so we're all home pretty much. So has the brain been racking up some notes on some new things?
A little bit. I've been working on, I had a sci-fi idea that kind of hit me during this whole thing. But I just haven't really kind of sat down and fleshed it out by any means.
Yeah.
I honestly, at this point, I feel that there's some other things that I kind of want to learn, and I'm trying to use this time that we have as kind of more like back in like the college years, just learn some things that I really, like other parts of our industry or business. I mean, everything's merging into one anyway.
Now, Gino, listen, we always end our shows with probably the toughest question that we ask artists.
Oof, I'm sweating.
If you haven't looked at our shows, or hopefully you have, but if you have looked at our shows, usually the last question is the toughest. Now, here's Cinephile to Cinephiles. What is or was your favorite movie of all time? That's it. Listen, I know it's a tough, awful question sometimes, but yes, give us one.
Just one.
If you can't, we'll take a top 3.
No, what? How do you go from top 3?
We'll give him a top 3 if he can. He's a cinephile. We gotta go with him.
Fair.
3, I would say it changes because I think about this a lot.
I get it.
Lately, I find that Devin just keeps every year that I get older, I feel that movie gets better every time I revisit. The Wild Bunch. Did you ever see The Wild Bunch?
Ah, yes. Yes.
Haven't seen any of these.
Sam Peckinpah.
Yep. Sam
That's
Peckinpah.
a movie for the times. Yeah. That's definitely one that I wouldn't be surprised if they remade that soon.
Oh yeah.
And 3, I'd say The Godfather Part 2. I know that's probably a common answer that you get, but I think just the fact that The Godfather 2 is not only a sequel to one of the greatest movies of all time, but did it justice, but also it invented the prequel and the sequel. Yep. In one movie.
movie. Yeah.
I mean, so. Yeah.
It's masterful filmmaking at its finest, and storytelling too. I mean, that was a big thing. Listen, Gino, man, thank you for taking the time to talk about your artistry.
Thank you for having me. This was cool.
No, man, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gino Donatelli. Check out his movie on Urban Flicks called CopShit. And let me tell you, it's a fun watch.
It's awesome. Check Gino out on all his social media handles as well as us right below.
Check out
never gets old.
The website.
And our website, scriptlyadapted.com, where this show will be aired as well. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.
Bye.